This video is going to demonstrate how you get the report that you exported from TEISS into your Microsoft Word, into your written emissions inventory. So the first thing you want to do is to open up that file that you exported from TEISS. So if you can't remember where you put it, please take a look at your TEISS logbook and note the name and where you put it, and go to the file and open it up. And I've done that already here, and this shows the first page of the report. Now we're going to talk about two options that you have for getting these reports into your written EI, and the one that I prefer to use is the first one we're going to discuss, and that's the screen capture method. The second option is to just import it directly as a Word document into your written EI. So let's start off with talking about the screen capture method. And the reason I prefer this method is because you can modify the size of the picture instead of importing it as an entire file, which means that the table is going to take up a whole page and the chart is going to take up a whole page. And with this option, you can crop the picture down to the size you want, and it can fit in better with the text. So for each of your pollutants, you're going to want to write some text on what you see, as is shown in the mock level 4 EI. And once you write that paragraph, then you want to insert the table and the chart into your written EI. One of the disadvantages of this method is that the text is often small when you export the report from TEISS. But if you export it in Microsoft Word, we can modify the text size. So if you'll notice here, this looks pretty small to me. So I want to modify the text size of this. So I'm going to click and select the text that I want to modify. So this might take some getting used to, and it might take a couple of modifications to get all the text selected that you want, and sometimes it's often easier just to do a couple things at a time. So modify some text instead of trying to modify it all. So I'm going to try to select a couple of these. I'm just going to modify these for now, and I'm going to change my font size to 11. And if you stick with Arial, I wouldn't suggest anything bigger than 11 because that often makes it too big. So that changed those, and now I'm going to change these by selecting them and changing the font to 11. And so you'll have to do this for each table that you want to include in your emissions inventory. Right now we're just looking at the lead table. So this looks pretty good. This is how I want it. So I'm going to do a screen capture of that, and to do that you need to use the print screen key on your keyboard, and that is PRNT SCRN, and it's definitely somewhere on your keyboard, so you'll just have to look for that, and you'll have to press that key and it will make the capture of what you're seeing on your screen. So I'm going to do that right now, although you can't see me doing it. And then I'm going to go into my blank document, and I like to use the blank document instead of just importing it directly into my emissions inventory because I want to crop it down a little bit. So I'm going to get it exactly how I want it to appear in the report, and then I'm going to copy it from there. So after I press that key on my keyboard, I click on the paste button, and you'll see that that picture is now in my Word document, my blank Word document. And this is too much, like I don't want all this stuff on the bottom, so I am going to crop it. And to crop it, you click on the picture to select it, and then you go to the tools, and the crop tool is this one here, that little black square. So click on that, and that makes these black borders come up, and if you just move it, it crops the picture down. So I'm going to do that. And we'll see what's on the top here and on the side that we don't want to crop. And that looks pretty good, and that's how I want this to be presented in my hard copy emissions inventory. And you would do the same thing. You would take a screen capture of the chart and then paste it into the Word document. So next we're going to demonstrate the alternative method of getting the TEISS reports into your EI, and this is importing the Microsoft Word file directly that you exported from TEISS. So if you use this method, you should import the tables and figures into the appendix section of your EI rather than the results section. And the reason we say this is because when you import them directly, they take up multiple pages, and you probably don't want that in your results section of your EI. So what you want to do is, let's just pretend for now that this is your emissions inventory, and you want to do a blank page to start your appendix section. And you want to change the layout to landscape. So to do that, we'll do page layout, and we will, now we want to do landscape, and we only want to apply it from this point forward because we don't want the whole emissions inventory to be in landscape view. We only want the appendix to be in landscape view. So we send it as this point forward and click on the OK button. And now what you want to do is import your report that you exported from TEISS. So to do that, we have to go to Insert, and then we have to go to Object, Text from File, and we have to find that report that we exported from TEISS, and that is this one, and we click Insert, and that goes into the report just as it was when you exported it. So you'll see that this added 14 pages to the report, and you'll see that it's, as I said, big. And that does it for this video.